The following is a presentation of TFNN. The Morning Markets Kickoff with your host, Tommy O'Brien. Now, Tommy O'Brien.
Good Wednesday morning, everybody. Tommy O'Brien, coming to you live from TFNN. Thanks for kicking off your trading day right here with me. And we pick things up with a little bit of a mixed market. Tech stocks yet again in the green. NASDAQ barely in the green by 18 points. You got the S&Ps right now, negative by 15 points, trading at 76.08. The Dow off 196 points, 51,206 for the Dow. And we got a jobs number this morning. And why not? We kick it off with that jobs number, 122,000 jobs for ADP. Now, this is private payrolls. Get added in the month of May. It's a decent number. You look at this number. Okay, now this is private payrolls. We get non-farm payrolls for the month of May on Friday. One of the biggest data points for the month out there. We'll get that number on Friday. We get private payrolls this morning. And yeah, that's the biggest number since January, folks. 122,000. The market was looking for just over 100. Okay, 105 the prior month. They were looking for 120. You come in at 122, and it's a decent number. Where are the jobs? Education and health services, 57,000. Trade, transportation, utilities, 36,000. You add those two up, and that's more than almost 3 out of 4 jobs that were created. Professional and business services, leisure, hospitality, construction also boosted headcount, and companies of all sizes added jobs. So that's the number we get at 8:30 this morning. As you can see, markets, there's a little bit of volume on that 8:30 number, but nonetheless, S&Ps right now, slightly in the red, just off of all-time highs, off about 0.2%. NASDAQ 100, that's an all-time high at 8 a.m., 30,799. This market, man, you back it up to a daily. I mean, you're talking about a run now, folks, going on April, May, we are into June. And you're talking about a run that began with a 22,000 handle, and we are inching towards 31,000 right now. I mean, pretty remarkable when you look at the NASDAQ 100. Okay, we're talking about a period of over 2 months of trading. And on a daily basis, we got 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 red bars. 10 red bars in that entire time. A little bit of a volume pullback on May. And we'll see how today turns out. A little bit of pressure on the markets right now with the S&Ps down by 15 points. We jump over to crude. Yeah, this is a problem. Okay, the markets can handle $90 crude, but I'm not sure they're going to be okay with over $100 crude. We'll find out. 95.20 crude up another $1.40. We got higher crude prices. You haven't filled up your gas tank yet, folks. Get out there and fill it up. We were at $86 last Friday. And yeah, now we're at $10 higher. $95.20 for the price of crude. On the jobs number, we get a little bit of yield movement. Lower price, higher yield on that jobs number at 8:30. We should see. We're coming down already. 4.49. No reprieve in yields just yet. And that's going to be a problem as you have crude rising. Right? 4.49. So inching towards 4.5%. We jump over to the dollar, DXY. And as yields rise yet again, the dollar continued strength at 99.45, up another 23 pennies. And yeah, you better believe that's weighing on gold. Gold down $28. Gold down $130 from where we were the highs of Friday. And you're talking about down, what, $60, $70 from where we were yesterday. We're coming down to the lows of Monday. Gold under pressure, down 0.7% at $44.90. Silver down 91 cents at 74.64. We jump over to platinum this morning, down $25 at 19.18. And the king dog right now is copper, man. How about those copper stocks yesterday? Copper, that's an all-time high made in May. You inch towards that number yesterday, don't quite make it. We hit a high of 669.8. So basically 670, almost a couple pennies off of the all-time highs. Look at the volume in copper, though. And I say that as in great volume. Last couple days, some nice volume on Monday to the upside. We'll see how we back down with volume to the downside. Copper down about 10 pennies. And yeah, as I was talking about. How about Freeport yesterday? Right? You break above this area. okay? And look at the volume on Freeport. This copper run is real, folks. Okay, check out these copper stocks. You got Freeport. Now you're going to give up slightly. You're down about 70 pennies from where we were yesterday, but still above $70. Southern Copper going to be slightly lower and not quite the same volume conviction. Freeport looking tremendously strong, and copper pushing those all-time highs as we got yields at 4.5%. You got dollar strength this morning. And yeah, we got a jobs number as a precursor to the Friday non-farm payroll. All right, you talk about some of the headlines. So SpaceX, they've chosen the price, folks, and the price is $135 a share. You know, I found myself looking at this number. Can you imagine the marketing that goes into, right? I would love to see the case studies of why they'd have certain amount of shares at one price, you know, how many shares they have. Well, 555.6 million shares. That's how many they're going to sell. They're going to sell them at $135 a pop. You add it all together, $75 billion is what they'll pocket, and that will be a valuation of $1.75 trillion. Now, what's remarkable here is that a week or two ago, they were talking about a value of $2 trillion, right? What happened to that extra $250 billion? Gone. Okay? Targeting a valuation of at least $1.8 trillion. The company is aiming for a valuation of 1.75 now, and that's the way the numbers work out. And yeah, Wall Street firms likely to rake in about $500 million, as SpaceX will be raising $75 billion, but we have a price tag now, $135. And we'll see how many they can push out. We've been talking about this week. They're saving about 30% of what they're pushing out, 30% of the float for retail potentially. That number would be as high as about $22 billion potentially. That number, it'll be added to the indexes, of course, within about 15 days, the NASDAQ 100 has said. So start formal marketing tomorrow and price as early as June 11th. And that's what they're going for, though, 135. Now, usually you get a range, and there's no range. They're going for 135. And we'll see if they actually come out at 135, because we started at $2 trillion, we went to 1.8. Now it looks like it's 1.75. And yeah, interesting. So you have more than 1,000 current and former SpaceX employees, right? Bargaining power. They're joining together for bargaining power, right? Not against Elon, against Wall Street, okay? More than 1,000 current and former SpaceX employees join forces to negotiate better pricing and access to sophisticated tax-saving financial products ahead of the IPO. Imagine. So are they unionizing? No, they're not. But you sense the sarcasm, right? What are they doing? They're joining together for bargaining power as they go to the Wall Street banks, and there's maybe never been a group of 1,000 investors from an IPO before that have the bargaining power with the vast wealth that they are bringing, right? So the group has considered more than 20 financial advisors and private banks, leverage collective power. Unions. They're using their leverage collective bargaining power against Wall Street banks, but not against the company they're actually working for to get all that wealth, right? But yeah. Gotta love it. Markets. S&P's off by 16. We'll come right back, folks.
If you're looking for potential trading setups in the stock market, then Rocket Equities and Options Report is a newsletter you should try. Tommy O'Brien delivers options and equity trades when the markets present them, using a combination of fundamentals and technicals. Sign up for Rocket Equities and Options Report today with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to risk. For all the details and to start your subscription today, visit the front page of TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors.
In the world of trading, only a few names stand out like Larry Pesavento, a pro's pro with over 50 years of experience. Larry has seen it all. A former Chicago Mercantile Exchange member, Larry has authored 10 books and trained over 1,000 traders with his unmatched expertise. Introducing Fibonacci 24/7, Larry Pesavento's daily trading service that turns the complexity of markets into opportunities. Published every Sunday, receive a comprehensive report packed with detailed commentary, charts, and videos that illuminate the patterns shaping the markets, with updates throughout the week exclusively for subscribers. Whether through charts or videos, Larry's analysis is your roadmap to navigating the markets. You can sign up now at TFNN.com for just $97. And with all TFNN newsletters backed by a 30-day money-back guarantee, you have nothing to risk. For all the details, visit TFNN.com. You'll find Fibonacci 24/7 right under the newsletters tab.
Building wealth trading in the stock market seems impossible to most people. They think it's too volatile and risky. Most people aren't going to take the time to educate themselves on how to do it right. But you're not most people, are you? At TFNN, you'll get the guidance you need to refine your strategies and techniques to invest like a pro. Because you'll be a pro. All TFNN subscriptions, books, software, and courses are available at TFNN.com. And I'm even going to tell you how to get them for less. Use TFNN's Tiger Dollars and you'll get up to a 20% bonus on your purchase. And once you apply them to your account, Tiger Dollars are automatically used for all future or recurring charges. Tiger Dollars also never expire, are fully transferable, and are a great way to add savings to your newsletters or services. Become the investor you were born to be at TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors.
TFNN has launched the Tiger's Den, hosted at Discord. TFNN has been educating traders for more than 20 years, with live programming hosted by a variety of professional traders during market hours. The Tiger's Den, available to all tigers and tigresses for just $1 for the year. There's no catch or added costs when you join our community of traders. Sign up today and become a part of this educational community of traders. Just visit the front page of TFNN.com.
This portion of the Morning Market Kickoff is brought to you by Direxion's daily leveraged and inverse ETFs. Whether you're a bull or a bear, you choose the direction. Visit Direxion.com. Investing in the funds involves significant risk and should only be utilized by investors who understand the impact of leverage and actively monitor their portfolio. They are not designed to track the underlying index or security for more than a day. Before investing, carefully consider a fund's investment objective, risks, charges, and expenses contained in the prospectus available at Direxion.com. Read carefully. ALPS Distributors, Inc.
Welcome back, folks. We got NVIDIA shares basically flat and quite the roller coaster ride yesterday. NVIDIA, more than 10 days, more than $10 in terms of the sell-off. You accelerate higher yesterday to 232. You were at 235 pre-market. You finished the day at 222. That's $250 million in market capitalization. NVIDIA's got almost 24 billion shares, just more than 24 billion shares outstanding. Multiply it times 10. $250 billion just yesterday from highs to lows. Today we're chopping around at 222. And it seems like, you're in one of these newsrooms, man. It's like, hey, get me a story on NVIDIA and AI every single day. And the stories almost write themselves when you get the level of deals. You're talking about yesterday, it was Google, right? And that put a little bit of fear in the market. Okay, as it probably rightfully should. Google's down another $3 today. So it comes out Monday night that Google's raising $80 billion through equity, right? Not debt. And they usually raise debt for their spending. They usually don't go out for an equity raise and dilute their shares. Okay, now Berkshire picked up $10 billion. They're going to push out $70 billion in other avenues. But I think you saw a recalibration to a certain degree yesterday. Okay, you saw Microsoft trade lower from 460 on Monday to 440 yesterday. Amazon under pressure. These hyperscalers with AI, they're pushing past the limits that the market's willing to provide debt, which is pretty remarkable when you look at the size of these companies. Now, yields are a bit elevated. Okay, so maybe they're saying they don't want to pay the cost of the debt that the market's requiring right now. But Google, down another $3 today. Now, this one's an interesting one from the Journal. Okay, this one's out last night. I was reading it this morning. And it's talking about, of course, the CapEx, the data center build out. And one of the things they're talking about here is actually that Google, okay, Alphabet, is on the forefront here when it comes to energy. And that they may be able to actually leapfrog some of the competition, okay, because of the way they're integrating the energy development. They're not the only one, right? Microsoft, 3 Mile Island, restarting nuclear reactors, okay, so they're all hip to the energy bottleneck. But this article, okay, talks about here that, number one, data centers are way behind. Okay, a JP Morgan analysis last month found that more than 60% of data center capacity planned for completion next year is not yet under construction. Another 7% is delayed. That's quite a number. And yeah, I would agree, Duffy. You know, it's the not in my backyard. It's whether you're talking about, right, whether you're talking about nuclear energy, which is going to be closely tied for energy to data centers now. When you talk about utility consumption, energy and water is a big problem. How does that get done? And you know, you look at this is just yesterday, folks, okay? This is where I live, Lakeland, Florida. It is happening everywhere. Lakeland data center proposal hits a major roadblock after developer cancels review meeting. You're talking about a 550,000 square foot Project Swan data center. Yeah, and now that's going to be delayed, canceling a key review meeting. Yes, as concerns get raised, is as they put it, right? But I would say across the nation, 550,000 square foot near Old Tampa Highway and Wilkinson Road. Not familiar. But yeah, residents packed a recent Lakeland City Commission meeting on Monday to voice concerns about the project. One of the biggest challenges, they're not currently permitted under the existing zoning framework of the site. Multiple jurisdictions and land use designations. The original, look at this, planned unit development zoning was originally approved for a fertilizer processing facility. And then you had a solar field. It does not authorize a data center, but that's what they're going to put in now. Yeah, a minimum 15-year electric service agreement. How about that? A security deposit equal to 2.5 times the monthly electric bill. What a joke that is. Yeah, water and wastewater capacity remains unclear. And that's just cherry picking one article. So it is happening everywhere. Okay, now to get back to Google. Okay, so we're under capacity. The hyperscalers can't break ground on many projects they've already announced. A closer look at Google's AI infrastructure build-out suggests, at least in pursuing new facilities, the company has taken a novel approach to getting around some of the major bottlenecks, in particular the ability to secure massive amounts of electric power they require. In securing their own sources of generation and investing, in the ability to shift computing loads to follow power supply could allow it to get its data centers connected to the grid faster. Okay? So what this has to do with here is that, number one, you're talking about CapEx, okay? A key challenge companies face is getting approval from grid operators and power companies. Some of the delays relate to the complexity that it could cause to the system itself, okay? Now, here's where this gets interesting for Google in particular. They own a power company, but, you know, Microsoft's going to have their own nuclear reactor for decades, whether they own it or not, and Constellation does, right? They have the exclusive use of that nuclear reactor. So Google has hired in-house staff to develop their data centers. They have a more integrated approach that would suggest a lot more thoughtful, okay? And that's a gentleman who formerly directed the Energy Department's loan program office. And you just saw what we were dealing with in Lakeland, right? This is going to be everywhere, of course. And they talk about here 3 Mile Island with Microsoft, okay? And here's the kicker that I want to get to, burying the lead. In addition to faster connection for data centers that build their own power sources, regulators have also considered affording that opportunity to ones that can reduce their consumption or disconnect when supplies are scarce. Data center operators have resisted the idea, okay, but Google years ago became the first giant to begin studying how its data centers might use less power during times of strain. They now have a pilot program, and we'll talk about this, okay, because on Tuesday, they just announced one deal. Markets in the red. We're coming right back, folks.
Sharpening your skills as an investor is like getting better at playing a musical instrument. You have to practice, sure, but you also need excellent instruction from experts. At TFNN, you'll get advice and guidance from the authority in technical market analysis. And it's not just dry, tedious text either. TFNN airs live financial content streamed live on TFNN.com and TFNN's YouTube channel with Tiger TV, live every market day from 8:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern, for free. Each host is an experienced trader and gives their take on the market while taking calls and questions live from around the world. From the moment the market opens until the closing bell sounds, Tiger TV has 8 different shows with expert hosts to help you make the right moves with your money. Watch online at TFNN.com or on TFNN's YouTube channel and become the investor you were born to be. TFNN, educating investors.
If you spend any time online researching trading techniques on how to begin your trading journey, you've no doubt come across many folks who push Forex trading as a way to make big money quickly. Unfortunately, there are equally as many stories of these so-called Forex professionals just looking to make a quick buck off aspiring traders without actually teaching the ins and outs of the Forex market. This is what sets Teddy Keckstack's The Tiger Forex Report off the riffraff. Every Monday, former Chicago Mercantile Exchange member and author Teddy Keckstack releases his Tiger Forex Report newsletter, where he dives into the complex world of Forex and takes time to actually teach you his methods that have made him so successful in the fast-paced and rewarding world of Forex trading. Furthermore, all subscribers receive access to archived live streams of Teddy's, where he provides university-level education to help you in Forex trading. All first-time subscribers receive a 30-day money-back guarantee. So what are you waiting for? Forex awaits.
Steve Rhodes started his trading career as a student almost 20 years ago, and the student has now become the master. Steve won the prestigious Timer of the Year award in 2018 and barely missed that mark again in 2019, finishing at number 2 for the year. An amazing accomplishment. Steve Rhodes is committed to sharing his techniques and knowledge with anyone who wants to learn, and he shares his vast amount of trading knowledge every day in his Mastering Probability newsletter. Steve's award-winning newsletter, Mastering Probability, is delivered every trading day with updates throughout the afternoon. Sign up for Steve's market newsletter, Mastering Probability, and you'll receive access to 7 of Steve's educational webinars absolutely free. At TFNN, all our newsletters come with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have absolutely nothing to worry about. Visit TFNN.com and try Mastering Probability 30 days risk-free today. TFNN, educating investors.
Don't forget, you can listen to TFNN live on your mobile device 24 hours per day. Go to TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV. That's TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV.
Folks, and who's out there listening to me talk about Google, buying some Google shares? No, I kid, but Google, a little bit of an uptick. Markets, a little bit of an uptick coming into the opening bell. NASDAQ 100 in the green, up by 60 points, challenging the pre-market highs on the open. We got the S&Ps right now, down by 14 points on the open, trading at 76.09. The Dow, down 250 points or 0.5%. The Russell, down 0.8%. Russell, under pressure right now. We keep our eye on yields. Lower price, higher yield, just under 4.5%. On the 10-year, that's giving the dollar a bid, 99.43 right now. And yeah, gold down $38 right now. We jump over the VIX. Slightly elevated VIX. Okay, keep your eye on that VIX, up by 3%. You're down by 12 points on the S&Ps. We check in on some of the biggest equities. NVIDIA, down by about $1 to kick things off. Google shares, up by $2. Microsoft, down by a few bucks to kick it off. And Amazon, down by 0.5% as well. See, Tesla, down 1.4% right now. Broadcom hits 507 in the pre-market. 507 in the pre-market. Now, Broadcom has their numbers after the bell today, folks. Okay? So get ready for it. This company, man. $2.3 trillion. They have 4.7 billion shares outstanding. So call it 5 billion shares for simple math. Okay, 5 billion shares. And this thing is up $200 from where we were trading in April. Right? Amazing, man. Yeah, simple math, folks. That's $1 trillion in market capitalization added over that period of time. So Broadcom will have their numbers tonight. Look for those as the market catches a little bit of a bid on the open. There we go. Look at this. NASDAQ 100. First time ever. 30,800. Look at this thing, man. 30,800. We're up 2,000 points from where we were trading May 19th. Couple weeks. All right, jumping back to that story on Google, okay, and the data center build out. This is one of the stories, the avenues that you'll start hearing more about, okay, in terms of studying how the data centers might use less power during times of strain, right? That's what it's all about, right? Peak usage, okay, whether you're facing, for whatever reason, right? You're talking about heat waves, all the reasons that we need peak usage of electric. Heat waves, one of them. The company now has pilot programs with several utilities in which it reduces data center power in exchange for payment, which is a tactic known as demand response. Okay, on Tuesday, Google announced a 3-year agreement with demand response company Voltus to help create more capacity in the largest power market. There, the data center build-out has contributed to higher costs for customers and increased the risk of power supply shortages on hot and cold days. They're trying to remedy that with this agreement, right? Under the agreement, Voltus will pay homes and businesses to reduce power consumption during times of peak demand and make use of technology, including home batteries and smart thermostats to manage that. Now, do you want a smart thermostat in your house that's managed by Voltus that's going to throttle down during a period of high usage? Well, that means that your AC is going to be the one that's not running on hot days, right? Now, maybe you're more comfortable with an AC that runs at 80 degrees during hot days versus needing it at 74. The company says the deal could create as much as 100 megawatts of capacity, the equivalent to that of a small power plant. They're still going to have to pay those people, though. Where's the money going to come from that payment? Is Google the one that's going to do that, right? They have a 3-year agreement with Voltus to help create more capacity. That deal is going to pay the customers to scale back their energy use no matter what. It's a pie of energy, right? So if the data centers come in and they need energy, now the plan is that they're just going to pay the people on the grid to use less of it. You're going to hear this talked about more often. Okay? Ooh, NASDAQ gave it up pretty quickly. How's that for a quick sell-off, man? 100 points up, 100 points down. Just like that, back to where we were at about 9 a.m. with the NASDAQ down by 13 points, 30,700. Amazon slightly in the red right now. Keep an eye on NVIDIA. Oh, excuse me. A little bit of a sell-off for NVIDIA. Ooh, Micron down $11. And Broadcom, a little bit of a sell-off too, coming into Broadcom earnings tonight. Don't underestimate tonight's earnings for Broadcom, folks. Okay, they're a $2.3 trillion company. Look at this run, baby. Look at that. 1 to 1.618. From $41 to $500 over a period of less than 4 years. You're completing the 1 to 1.618 expansion. Okay, there's so many legs of this. But it could be doing another nice A to B, C to D, right? They could potentially take this thing all the way up to 565. What is alarming out here is look at the volume we have from the B point, okay? You didn't get above there with volume, folks. Look at this weekly volume. Now, last week was a holiday week. You did 100 million when you traded higher. But realistically, this run from 300 to 500, it's not like it's vapor thin volume, but it's not that impressive as well. What's remarkable is that the NASDAQ 100 has the same, not the same, because Broadcom's goes back a little bit further. I think Broadcom starts like back here. Okay, but the NASDAQ 100 is at a 1 to 1.618 expansion from the low of the October 2023 lows in the market as well. And that was quite a deep pullback, right? From the B point to the pullback. Now you're at the 1 to 1.618. You see how we chopped around at the 1 to 1 for a while? Just something to keep in mind, some pretty critical areas. We check over the metals market. So gold, I tell you, that was a nice uptick last week in gold. That was a short trading week, so you only had 4 trading days. And meanwhile, gold does more volume than we've done since March 23rd at the bounce at the lows. So it's a nice little bounce. You know, we have decent support here at the October highs. Let's see how we pull back this week. It's Wednesday. Yeah, look at the volume dropping off. You know, building cause. This market building cause right at the October highs, folks. Now all we need is a nice sign of strength to break away. And hey, 2 weeks from today, we get a new Fed chair meeting, okay? And with rates in focus, you got a 10-year right now. Yet again this morning, lower price, higher yield, 4.5% right now on the 10-year. And that's caused some dollar strength in dramatic fashion. 99.43 weighing on metals, but we'll find out what Mr. Warsh has to say 2 weeks from today. With gold now $42 at 44.77 right now. Silver down $1.27 at 74.28. And we check in on Bitcoin. Bitcoin under pressure, down 0.5%, down $320, 67,000. Markets in the red. S&P's off by 20. We'll come right back, folks.
Many trading newsletters attempt to focus on a narrow set of equities or commodities. While this works for some, it oftentimes misses many opportunities that possess huge gain potential. But how is an independent trader supposed to scan the entire market looking for these hidden opportunities? One simple answer: the opening call newsletter. Basil Chapman, developer of the Chapman Wave trading methodology, has been trading the markets for longer than most trading influencers have been alive. And over that time, he has honed his methodology in order to accurately call movements in a wide range of equities, from semiconductors to uranium to key indices and so much more. Basil is old school, taking the time to educate the trader while also giving his insights into key indices, selective stocks, and more. Opening call subscribers also receive access to dozens of educational live streams that can be accessed at any time for your edification. All first-time subscribers receive a 30-day money-back guarantee. So ignore the pop trading influencers and start learning time-tested technical analysis.
For traders who crave risk, Direction's daily leveraged and inverse ETFs provide opportunities to magnify short-term perspectives with up to 3 times a daily leverage, utilize bull and bear funds for both sides of the trade, and trade through rapidly changing markets. These are highly leveraged ETFs with daily resetting designed for short-term trading, not long-term investing. Whether you're a bull or a bear, you choose the Direction. For up-to-date pricing and performance, go to direction.com. Investing in the funds involves significant risk and should only be utilized by investors who understand the impact of leverage and actively monitor their portfolio. They are not designed to track the underlying index or security for more than a day. Before investing, carefully consider a fund's investment objective, risks, charges, and expenses contained in the prospectus available at Direxion.com. Read carefully. ALPS Distributors, Inc. Are you ready to take charge of your financial future? TFNN is your gateway to the world of trading and investing. Whether you're starting out or scaling up, TFNN empowers traders and investors of all skill levels with top-notch investing systems, strategies, and techniques. It's time to protect and grow your money with insight you can trust. Join us live Monday through Friday during market hours for exclusive content that moves with the markets. At TFNN, we bring the trading floor to you. Our seasoned hosts are here to answer your calls and questions live on the air. Check out the Tiger's Den for just $1 and follow us on YouTube and become part of our vibrant community. And remember, at TFNN, we're so confident in the value we provide that we offer a 30-day money-back guarantee on all new premium newsletter subscriptions and services. You have absolutely nothing to risk, so why wait? Tune in live to Tiger TV and transform your trading journey. Because when you know better, you invest better. Join us and experience the difference today. TFNN, educating investors.
This program is brought to you by Vista Gold, traded on the NYSE American and TSX under the symbol VGZ.
Welcome back, folks. We got markets chopping around right now. We got the S&Ps down about 20.2 points, NASDAQ 100. We trade to an all-time high on the open. We give it up slightly. We're down by 10 points right now. S&Ps approaching where we were right after the close last night. You hit about 7,600. We're at 7,602 right now. Dow under pressure off 233 points right now. You jump over to Macy's. A little bit of a roller coaster in the pre-market. We were all the way up to 2310. And right now we open down 0.3%, and you jump over to Macy's. Decent numbers. Okay. Strongest first quarter growth in 4 years. They raised the guidance despite consumer worries, and you're in the red. Yeah. Comp sales up 3%. They're looking for 2026 net sales of 21.5 to 21.75. I love how they say largely ahead of the expectations of 21.59. I consider that basically splitting the difference, right? Who's writing these puff pieces for CNBC when they say that they're now expecting 2026 revenue of 21.5 to 21.75 billion, and they classify it as largely ahead of the expectations of 21.59? No, that's basically just giving yourself a range that spans the expectations. But a slight beat. They're looking for comp sales to climb 0.5 to 1.2% for the year. Previously, they had that spanning a 0.5% rise or drop, so that's an increase. But the market's not giving you any room. This thing's bounced a bit from 18 to 21 recently. You've doubled in price from where we were a year ago. Take a look at the volume on this thing. Yeah, we get some nice support at 18. But their December earnings you're bumping up against. Can't get above that area with volume. Macy's under pressure today with the markets under pressure. S&P's giving it up, man. Look at this sell-off. Okay, we're below the lows of last night. We're coming into the lows of yesterday morning. That low is 75.90. Yeah, look at NVIDIA down $5. Micron down $11. Broadcom down 1%, just like that. Lam slightly in the green. And Intel catching a bid. Look at the volatility of Intel, man. Up another 7% today, up $7.28 at $115 for Intel. Yeah, speaking of uranium, CCJ down 2.4%. Let's take a look at this thing. And a little rocket ship. So this is a weekly we're looking at on Kamiko. Okay, they're your uranium player. You have highs out here from earlier in the year, but you gave up those highs with the volume acceleration, and that's the area we keep struggling to get above. Last week's bounce on a holiday week, pretty paltry. This week, yeah, we got some more action. It's only Wednesday, and we've already done 8 million. And that's because you take a look at the daily. That's what you like to see, folks. Now, that's the shortest of indicators, talking about short term. Couldn't quite get above the earnings from May. But Kamiko giving it back slightly off 2.2% right now. Gold under pressure. XAU off 2.6%. HUI off 2.4%. Yeah, GDX chopping around at 85, 81. We take a look at the heat map. Intel and AMD. AMAT's up 1.4, Lam slightly in the green, Meta up almost 2%, Google up 0.5%. All right, energy stocks higher so far this morning, healthcare higher as well. Let's jump over to UNH. So I was reading about last night as well that for the first time you're going to get, Amazon, they overtake Walmart, right, as the biggest Fortune 500 company when you're talking about revenue. Okay, so Amazon's got the revenue. And you know who's right up there, though, is UNH. Yeah, at number 3. UNH up by 2% today. That's a daily. We take a look at the weekly. So their earnings April 20th. We have a nice volume spike. Yeah, that pullback was on very light volume. Zoom in on the action the last couple weeks. Very light volume pullback. We get some nice strength here with volume. You do have your earnings out here hanging out from January where you rip low with volume. Let's go a little bigger picture. I mean, the next area you probably face resistance is all the way up here. You got lows from last February of about 438 on UNH. All right, watch out below, folks. We got Broadcom earnings after the bell, and you're breaking below the lows of yesterday. The S&Ps just dropped 30 points from the open. Look at a little volume spike we got going as well. NASDAQ off about 160 points right now. And we got a VIX accelerating. Okay. And yeah, when you look at these public companies that are going public in terms of SpaceX, right, OpenAI, Anthropic, what's remarkable in there is that they're all raising money, right? That money has to come from somewhere. And Google throws in $80 billion in the mix as well. And that money has to come from somewhere, right? So Google just did an $80 billion equity raise. That's actually more than SpaceX is raising. SpaceX is only raising $75 billion. Google just raised $80 billion. So throw them into the mix. So you got to find $75 billion on SpaceX. You got to find $80 billion on Google. OpenAI, Anthropic are in there as well. And you better believe they're rushing to get this thing out right now. Okay? And it's not like it's super nefarious that they want to get it out right now. Okay? Some of the rule changes you better be aware of. I mean, these indices are going to be under pressure when you push SpaceX into the NASDAQ 100 within 15 days of IPOing. You know, the volatility that is potentially available within the first couple weeks of that size equity, it's going to be substantial, right? And from a risk-reward perspective, though, there's almost no benefit to these companies if the market keeps going up from here, right? Of course there is, okay? But you're looking at an S&P that's at 7,600 right now, okay? We were at 5,000 a year ago, practically. Okay, you were at 6,300. You were 20% below where we're at just a couple months ago. 20% where we were a couple months ago. So it's almost an asymmetrical risk, right? Where they don't gain a lot if they hold off and let the market continue going up, because we're at all-time highs across the board right now, everywhere. However, they do face a risk if we get a dramatic pullback. And so you better believe the race is on to push out that paper. And hey, SpaceX, first it was $2 trillion, and then it was 1.8. Now it looks like the number's 1.75. And remember, folks, they are pulling forward a lot of retail demand that usually supports an IPO. By issuing 30% of SpaceX to retail, That retail demand has already been pulled forward. We'll come right back, folks. One more segment.
Many trading newsletters attempt to focus on a narrow set of equities or commodities. While this works for some, it oftentimes misses many opportunities that possess huge gain potential. But how is an independent trader supposed to scan the entire market looking for these hidden opportunities? One simple answer: the opening call newsletter. Basil Chapman, developer of the Chapman Wave trading methodology, has been trading the markets for longer than most trading influencers have been alive. And over that time, he has honed his methodology in order to accurately call movements in a wide range of equities, from semiconductors to uranium to key indices and so much more. Basil is old school, taking the time to educate the trader while also giving his insights into key indices, selective stocks, and more. Opening Call subscribers also receive access to dozens of educational live streams that can be accessed at any time for your edification. All first-time subscribers receive a 30-day money-back guarantee. So ignore the pop trading influencers and start learning time-tested technical analysis.
Steve Rhodes started his trading career as a student almost 20 years ago, and the student has now become the master. Steve won the prestigious Timer of the Year award in 2018 and barely missed that mark again in 2019, finishing at number 2 for the year. An amazing accomplishment. Steve Rhodes is committed to sharing his techniques and knowledge with anyone who wants to learn, and he shares his vast amount of trading knowledge every day in his Mastering Probability newsletter. Steve's award-winning newsletter, Mastering Probability, is delivered every trading day with updates throughout the afternoon. Sign up for Steve's market newsletter, Mastering Probability, and you'll receive access to 7 of Steve's educational webinars absolutely free. At TFNN, all our newsletters come with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have absolutely nothing to worry about. Visit TFNN.com and try Mastering Probability 30 days risk-free today. TFNN, educating investors.
The reality is that navigating financial markets can be risky. Markets can be chaotic and difficult to understand. Having the latest market advice can help you turn this chaos into a key for creating winning trades. At TFNN, we understand that it can be hard to find reliable market news. That's why each of our market experts offers their very own market newsletter, a must-have tool for every trader out there striving to find an edge in today's markets. TFNN newsletters cover every aspect of the markets so you can analyze the market before you trade. Try any of our great newsletters risk-free with our 30-day money-back guarantee. Just visit the Newsletters tab on the front page of TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors.
Don't forget, you can listen to TFNN live on your mobile device 24 hours per day. Go to TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV. That's TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV.
Welcome back, folks. Markets sell off a bit. We get a little bit of a bounce in the last few minutes. And yeah, we sell off, man. Down 300 points and up 100 points. Just like that. S&Ps, you accelerate to a low of 75.74. We've bounced 10 points from there at 75.85 right now. Dow under pressure off 316. We take a look at that heat map in terms of the S&P 500. A lot of the biggest companies that have been carrying this market are in the red today. But then you have a little bit of a shift, right? You're talking healthcare in the green, energy, consumer staples. How about Walmart? Up by 2.2%. Costco up by a full percentage point right now. Procter & Gamble up by 0.7%. Philip Morris up by 2.2%. Utilities higher. Energy higher. And then you got a few companies. Intel up 6% right now. AMD as well. Western Digital up almost 5%. So as I mentioned, Broadcom. Earnings after the bell. And boy, you talk about a story of expectations, folks. You talk about it. Broadcom, a 2.3, well, we were a $2.3 trillion company on the open. 2.25 trillion dollar company. Broadcom, you're down by 1%. Their numbers after the bell, and you're looking for about a $40 move in either direction. Okay, you take a look. You go out to Friday. terms of the volume, the options, what they're pricing in. And yeah, if you want exposure through Friday, almost $21 in either direction. Okay, so you're looking for about $43 a movement in either direction by Friday's close. Yeah, you're talking about 8% move, 9% move. Not surprising when you see this thing moving every single day, man. May 28th, we were at $414. We just hit $495 this morning. Broadcom, after the bell, markets under a little bit of pressure. Google shares slightly in the green. And watch that VIX, though, folks. Got a little bit of a bid in the VIX. We'll see if it can hold. We just hit a high at 1663. The VIX up by 4%. S&P's down by 36. Stay tuned, folks. Basil Chapman. He's coming up next with the Tiger Technicians Hour, growling and prowling. Steve Rhodes at 11. Fast Market from the Schwab Network at noon. Stay tuned, folks. Basil's up right now.